Yo my peoples, what's going on? I'm MD Man and welcome back to yet another video. In this video I'm gonna switch it up a bit and I basically want to speak to you guys about something. As you can read by the title, this video is about New Balance and why they seem to be doing increasingly well. Well, in my head I have about 3 or 4 options as to why. It may be more, but I'm basically spitting off the dome. Everything's coming off the top of my head. So yeah, bear with me. If you have some more suggestions, put them in the comments below and let's just make a conversation of this. So firstly, I'd like to talk about collabs. Obviously, we would all know what a collab is, but let's talk about the actual benefits of a collab. New Balance have collabed in the past, in the recent past, with Joe Freshgoods. They've collabed with Amy Leon Dore, Salehi Bembury. They've collabed with a lot of people recently, and that benefits them to the point where when you're collabing, you're bringing in 2 different markets. So it's a thing of, you might be bringing in people who have nothing to do with the other brand that's being collabed, or people who it would make sense to collab the 2. I feel like New Balance are smart. I say smart to sense that I wouldn't say they're profiting of it, but both Joe Freshgoods and Salehi Bembury are black creators. So collaborating with 2 black creators over the course of these 2020 to 2022, there's been a lot of black consciousness, if that makes sense. And collabing with them, whether they like it or not, you could say you are collabing to join into that hype. And don't get me wrong, the shoes were really good. So I feel like that added a lot more eyes to New Balance and their silhouettes. If you do know New Balance I would like to describe as a reliable. It might cost a pretty penny, but it's gonna last. With retail prices around 200 and up, the material that you do get for that price is seemingly better than a lot of the other competitors, being either the Nike, the Adidas, and having the collabs mean that there's hype. Additionally, with the hype, dropping a shoe with limited quantities can also add on to the hype, where we bring in the Amy Leon Dore. Those 550s were brought in, I think the 3 initial colorways were the grey and white, the black and white, and I think the red and white, or the blue. I can't remember. I'll put the initial colorways up there. And because the collab really paid attention to the current times that we're in, they had that whole vintage look going on, which obviously is in fashion right now. So a lot more people were drawn to the shoe. With the versatilities of the 500s being that you can actually get 500s in near enough every colorway. That also helped the cause. I don't know, maybe this is just me thinking about it and processing it, but I feel like 500s are the equivalent to a dunk. You can get every single colorway, but the thing is with 500, the craftsmanship's a lot better. Because if you've personally had a pair of dunks, recent dunks over the past year or 2, some of the QC is very questionable. Whether it's bad leather, pre-creasing, glue stains. A lot of people have had problems with their shoes.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
And the thing is with Nike, we all know that if it wasn't for their stories and their good run of silhouettes, people would have emotionally checked out ages ago because the quality isn't it. Adding on to what I was saying about the new vintage in-style fashion shoe, we have the whole chunky trend which is going on, and New Balance plays a very big role in it. If you're looking at the silhouettes like the 990, the whole dad vibe, and a lot of New Balance's less known silhouettes, that they all play into that bias. So because of fashion, New Balance have seemed to really benefit from the time that we're in, and they're pushing out these shoes. So where people know that they can spend £200, I guess you could say a bit more. In today's economy, £200 for a shoe is quite expensive, especially with inflation. But with all of that going on, you know you can get a good shoe with very good materials. A lot more people are drawn towards it, and it's in fashion. Yeah, you've already got a lot of consumers. What plays into it is the whole recent Nike scandal. If you remember the whole Anne Hubert thing and West Coast Joe and the reselling, a lot of people seem to lose faith in Nike sneakers. And I guess the ongoing joke that Nike sneakers is the place that you don't win shoes from and everybody collects L's. It might have been a joke in the beginning, but people have really caught onto it and seen how bad it is. And we've seen in the past Nike even putting out statements themselves saying that the win rate on Nike sneakers is a lot lower than what they had expected it to be, that doesn't help. So if you can't win your shoe and somebody down the road has a shoe which is still desirable at a bit higher price point but with better materials than the shoe that this initial company is doing, of course they're gonna go over the road. As Dunks are in now, the difference between Dunk retail and a common New Balance retail is probably around £50. So if you can add £50 more, you can get a shoe for retail rather than having to miss out on the shoe and then add in another £150 to get the shoe at resale. People are just gonna do the retail option, isn't it? So I feel like things like that didn't help Nike and projected brands like New Balance to the forefront of current sneaker culture. Obviously, if you remember, Adidas had the whole Yeezy 350 takeover, Ultra Boosts, the Human Races. I would say now is New Balance's turn. If it stays, that's another thing. Another thing that I really hope in New Balance is the whole protection pack, giving shoes with that like pre-distressed look, but for an affordable price point. I put on the Stockroom Twitter, which I'll attach, affordable shoes under the £300 price point, and the whole protection pack was in there. That really helps because £300 isn't a lot for a shoe of the New Balance quality and what you will get. But you can see me reiterating quality and price point because at the end of the day, I feel like those are two core factors that New Balance really strive in. Another thing that New Balance are really doing well in is the whole made in USA, made in UK situation. So as some of you may know, pertaining to the price point, the prices are a bit higher because the shoe is made in USA or made in the UK. And obviously when a shoe is being made in these countries, the labor rates are a bit more expensive because of the countries it's coming from, meaning that they have to bump up the price point to obviously to make their profit back and stuff like that. But a lot of people look at this in terms of ethics, because if a shoe is being made in the USA or being made in the UK, the standard of living and the pay is probably a lot higher than a shoe being made in Asia. We're talking about your Chinas, your Vietnams, a lot of those places that are used by other sneaker brands to make shoes. Don't get me wrong, New Balance are still making shoes there. It's just that they're making less. A lot more people don't really have a fuss with it because, as I said, the whole ethics process. And people like to give their money to places where they can see that their workers are getting treated fairly, or let me not say fairly, workers are seeming to be getting treated fairly and seeming to be getting paid a decent wage, rather than taking it over the road, or I should say taking it over the other side of the world, where a lot of we've seen in the past issues with labour, issues with child workers and cramped sweatshops and that whole narrative. And I think New Balance is even moving into vegan friendly shoes, which is also helping their narrative. All of these things constitute into why New Balance seem to be doing very well today, and hopefully very well going forward with upcoming collabs with reproducing older silhouettes and other means to elevate and push the brand more into the sneaker culture scene and sneaker culture forefront, I should say. But yeah, guys, this has been my conspiracy. I don't know if you want to call it a conspiracy theory, but this has been my conspiracy theory as to why New Balance seem to be doing so well as compared to a lot of the other brands. But yeah, guys, if you really like this video and if you want more videos like this where I just share my opinion, put in the comment section down below. Let me know if you like this video. Please like, comment and subscribe. Appreciate you all. And yeah, guys, peace. Oh yeah, and it's because of Nike.